Good afternoon. Welcome to my garden, Lilac Hill. It is a lovely, bright but chilly February afternoon. I thought I would come out and share what I've been working on, what's completed, what I'm going to be working on, and some of the plants that are starting to come out of dormancy. This is a lovely Daphne, probably a Daphne odorata. Got this from Diana Wood, and it was a very small cutting and is completely loaded in flowers. I did have a frost protection on it. We haven't had a really hard frost, but we are supposed to go into some cold weather. I had it wrapped, but then the wind kept taking the wrap off, so might try again. This is Lilac, is called a cut and come again, blue meringue, and the hydrangeas are just starting to show new shoots, and then they'll get cut back to fat, full buds, quite easy to take care of. And the supports have worked. These supports are from Lee Valley, and they've worked really well to keep the hydrangea upright. I'll be putting those supports in early again in this year, of course, in a few months. When the hydrangea really starts to grow, I'll support it nicely. Yeah, those supports have worked out really well, better than stick and string. I call this the spring bulb bed for obvious reasons. Lots of different bulbs coming up, hyacinths, crocuses, daffodils. Some of these little crocuses are called Pickwick. That is Poppy Royal Wedding. Let's put this back in. My big Rose of Sharon. Double Rose of Sharon, Blushing Bride. And I'm so happy to see my little flowering almond, Prunus grandulosa, come back. Charles Jolie Lilac, fantastic. Nice big lilac now. That was just a small plant a few years ago. And this dwarf arbutus has done very well in the pot. Big pot. And I've got it raised up with brick just for drainage. I think it likes its pot. Had some beautiful red berries this year. And I just want to take a second to admire how nicely the laurel is filling in on this side. Probably by the end of this season, we'll have blocked most of the house. And I don't prune the laurel. I just let it do its thing. And if I don't like a shoot, I reach in and reach into a branch and cut it off. I don't cut the leaves with a hedge trimmer. I just think that particular plant looks better. Terry's going to be doing some work on here still, so we'll have some new projects happening on the patio. Rosemary has just been fabulous for winter interest. And the scent on the rosemary, oh my goodness, it's just fantastic. This was a free plant that someone had thrown out. I actually got 3. Well, it looks like there's 4. And someone threw them out, so I was happy to get them. I cleaned up this bed because I'm getting ready to add more soil, and I wanted to prune out the perennial weeds. Not prune, but pull the perennial weeds. There's lots of wallflower coming up, so sometimes a weed looks like a weed, but it's actually a new shoot. And the Rudbeckia has seeded all through here. That's fantastic. I can share that with other people. And every day now something new is coming up in these beds. A euphorbia came from a seed pack. The daisies are from a perennial wildflower mix. And most of these perennials are from the wildflower mix. And I've also changed the path, made the rocks stand up on their sides so I can bring the soil level up higher. And just really make this a pollinator bed, maybe with more mint, let the mint, catnip, things like that, Nepeta, just do its thing, so bring in lots of bees to this side. Tree peony. This peony was bought in 1998 from Vessi Seed Catalog, and every day now the shoots are emerging. It's so interesting that just fantastic how it's just all starting to come to life. It's really exciting. I'm looking forward to this year just because this garden is kind of coming into a little bit of a mature phase. Not so much work getting beds prepared, but there's always things to do. And this bed, I have a little bit of work to do in it. I want to make sure I get all the weeds out. There's lots of alliums coming up. And the Sicilian, I think it's called honey garlic bulbs are in here. They're great for bees. Potentilla. Oh, and this poppy is the other royal wedding. And then this poppy over here, which is nice and full, is Mrs. Perry. I'm not sure. I might have lost my anise plant here, but that's okay. That's, if it didn't make it, we'll just wait. Oh, look at the deer. Gosh, they're annoying. Look at the big footprint. Just missed my Agastache, my black adder. I'm not sure if that's going to come back. That's really old. And you know, honestly, if it doesn't, it's really done its thing to be great in the garden. My one tiny little clump of snowdrops. I'm certainly no English botanical garden, let me tell you, when it comes to snowdrops. I have a small clump, but they're so healthy. Just move the ferns. Look at this, little snowdrops. That's nice. And then this is a rose dawn. I'm gonna go with a viburnum. Yes, that is a viburnum. Don't call it a Daphne. It's a viburnum. And it gets its flowers before it gets its leaves. But this whole bed really needs amending. It needs to be amended. It needs more soil. I think there might, unfortunately, be some contamination in there. There's a lot of garbage came out of that area, and who knows what people threw out. However many years the garbage piled up. So I'm going to dig it out, have a good look, and replace all the soil. This bed is called the main bed, and I'm leaving all the leaves. Look at that. Bigfoot's been through here too. Not much for them to eat this time of year. It's nice to see they're not eating my currant, which is in bud. Upright St. John's wort. There's also a young lady smoke bush back there. Honeysuckle. Wow. That's a nice plant. I'm really loving honeysuckle. So easy. Doesn't give me any trouble. I call this one Hines because it came from Hines Hirschbold in Pitt Meadows years ago. He was a man that worked with my dad. He was a master gardener. And I call this one Ed because it came from Ed across the street's garage. Just a few sticks stuck in the ground, and I have a beautiful honeysuckle. And one slightly darker than the other, so I know there are two different varieties. I'm very happy with how this bed came out. This is the new extension, the final extension. If you look at the videos that I've done in the past, they're all on a playlist done to the years in 6-month intervals starting in 2018. And it really shows what we started with, which was really just a big rubbish pile of burn pile and garbage and so much stuff in the ground that people buried when they just did that sort of thing. I'm not sure why people think glass burns and nails. So constantly digging, still finding burn piles and rubbish. But the videos or the photo displays show the garden in its development, which I think sometimes development is the fun part. I'm heading now tomorrow towards maintenance. But there's always something new to do, and it's always exciting. So this is going to be really fun to get this going. This still needs to have the ground broken up. It's very hard ground through here. It'll probably have to be pickaxed. Okay, I need to come over here and just enjoy the sarcococa, the beautiful beauty of the scent. Oh my gosh, it's just the most beautiful scent ever. It's called Christmas box sometimes, sarcococa, sweet box. It's all back here because before we built our little glass house, this was a walkway, like around the horseshoe. really easy shrub to grow, and thank goodness everybody needs a few things that are nice and easy, and sarcococca in this garden is a real beauty, really fragrant plant. And before I go in the glass house to share what's coming up, I just want to take note that this bed is ready for planting. This has been amended. There's still a few rocks in here. It's clay, but it's been broken up with compost. And my friend Kathy gave me, and well, me and the other gardeners on the street, some of these beautiful oriental poppies. This bed is going to be leaning more towards the orange, burnt orange, all that beautiful shade of pink orange and purple, and of course the chartreuse. It's going to be really nice because there's this is called South Seas Daylily, and then of course the coral sunset peony. Looks like it's going to be really big, and there's some new bulbs coming up. I'll need a bit of pruning in here. That's called Bonfire Euphorbia. So really nice. One of these is Tasmanian Tiger. I think that's this one, and Ascot Rainbow, but I think this is actually Ascot Rainbow. And this is Tasmanian Tiger, or it's the other way around. Lilac Lavender Lady, always a beautiful plant. My very first lilac I put into the ground. Okay, let's go down here and then we'll end in the glass house. Butterfly bush, half of it was lost in the windstorm in August. I mean, half was gone. But it worked out okay because it actually opened this up to be a path now. So I'll just have to move the custard and cream daylily that's coming up, and maybe a little geranium, and I'll be able to get in here better. Oh, you can see right there, that whole section fell off, blew off in the wind. But it got put to good use because I ended up using it on my dead hedge pile, and some of it actually went into the ground, and I think it's growing. So beside the gate, I want to do a sort of a stick in the ground kind of hedge with whatever is at hand. Oh, I see all the birds have come to the tree. They're looking for seeds on the ground. So I have to make sure I feed my birds. So I'm happy with this. This is still in winter obviously. But still the colors, the texture, the different shapes of plants. I'm very happy with this bed. I think this has been a lot of fun and continuing to evolve. I don't really need the rim around the butterfly bush anymore, the black plastic rim, but I think I'll keep it just maybe to slow the water coming down off the hill. It's almost time to put out the slug bait traps, and I do those with beer because I see this poor little daisy. This daisy Madonna might need to be dug up, and there's a big giant buttercup or dandelion in there. These lilacs were from the side of the road. I have 18 lilacs now in the garden, cultivars and sort of roadside pieces that people were throwing out because they were putting in a retaining wall. So as I pan around, this area here is going to be my new shrubbery. And Terry's going to be fencing in under the deck. Probably not this year. We've got a big indoor project. We're going to be putting in a new kitchen in the house. So I have to share that because we've got the coolest appliances ever. They're robin's egg blue, and then we're putting in all the new countertops and a dark wood cabinet called driftwood. It's going to be really pretty. So I don't know how much time I'll have for outside this year because I got to pack up the whole kitchen and wash every piece of glass where I collect botanical teapots and vegetable shaped teapots, and everybody has to be washed and cleaned up and put away. But I'm going to come back to this shrubbery idea in a second. More sarcococca and a few little shrubs in here. So everybody's just still dormant. This is sort of a white bed. And choicea, another really good plant for our area. That's a mock orange. But I do want to share out here my beautiful big Hellebore called Onyx Odyssey. This is another plant that goes back to the early 2000s. Yeah, I like this bed too. I like the color. Try to keep it kind of burgundies. And it's a front bed, so you know, people see it from the road. And again, no rush to get going on the garden yet. Blackbird euphorbia though, wow, I gotta show that. That's stunning. With the beautiful melting fire heuchera, the hellebore, and everything just really comes together. There's a geum in here called koi, and it's orange. And hopefully my barberry will come back and my smoke bush lives for another season, or I want the smoke bush to do well. I love smoke bush. Hopefully I can get it to root. It's a fairly young plant. Okay, so let's go back through here. Now we're seeing it from a different direction. So the plan for this is to add big shrubs on the cherry tree side or the hillside, just to give more depth to this area. I feel that I could get in hydrangea, mock orange, more hydrangeas, maybe even a few more lilacs, right up to the edge of the cherry tree, weeping cherry, and really bay this out or bow this out, take out all this grass and just plant beautiful big hedges. I've got the bridal wreath spireas that could get to their full size and really have beautiful full size shrubs along this walkway. And then where the grass is a little bit yellow, that'll be the path. So I'll keep a straight line. Well, bow, I just said I'm gonna bow it, but this side will stay a straight line and this side will bow, or maybe I'll bring the gravel out a little bit further. There's lots of stuff under here, but it's all under frost protection for a few more weeks. We're supposed to get some snow soon, so not going to be jumping into spring too early. My wonderful lemon cypress has done a great job of building a soft fence against the chickens. The chickens are the neighbors. There is a quince down here, a stick that was of a big quince that grows outside the doctor's office. And one day I went with my pruners and I pruned off 4 shoots of this giant quince growing out of basically out of the pavement. And now year 6, I think I might finally have some blooms on that quince. So that's something to look forward to. That's one thing with gardening. There's always something happening and to look forward to and to just enjoy. I think gardening for me really just gives me hope, and I find it extremely rewarding the way plants grow and the birds come. The birds are up in the trees. They really want some seeds. They know when I come outside, and they don't really, they kind of cluck. Hi. Okay, I gotta finish my video and then I'll give you a snack. Yeah, they're all up in the trees. I love nature. Okay, let's look in here, because this is where I'm keeping some of the bulbs that are starting to really show, rather than keep them under the frost wrap. I've got some things in here that I want to share. This is called Love Day Daffodil. There's supposed to be something else with it. Oh, alliums, but they won't come till later. I got my fall mums. This is a little Miss Wilmot potentilla. I'm just letting it grow on. And look at this. Smell the roses. Hyacinths are peeking through. And then the bright corsage. I haven't seen too much of the puddle jumping yet. I keep kind of digging in here looking for it. It'll show when it's ready. I have a lot of plastic in covering things, because this actually this is its first full season, and it actually gets really bad condensation. So I put plastic on my shelving, and I'll probably repaint everything that's white. Give it all a good coating. I might even repaint the inside of the building too, but right now it's nice and dry. And look at those beautiful early gold crocuses. So this pot now I need to put outside so that when the bees come, they've got some food, because the bees will be emerging. The big Avalon cupped narcissi or daffodil, those are going in the bed where I've got my new poppies for a spring look. But of course the bright corsage would look nice out there too. I grow the bulbs in for one season in pots just to get a really good enjoyment, and then I transfer them out into either the spring bed, and now I've got this other area to transfer to plant into. Oh, this is a really old pot of little tiny tete-a-tetes, but it's coming up, I can see. No sign of this one. That's okay, but this tiny tete-a-tete is on its way. It looks like this. These were planted out in October. Yeah, so I think that's that pretty much covers it. Just a really exciting time to have the garden coming back to life for another season. Well, I think I want to, oh, there's one, little birds. I think I want to feed my birds, so thank you for watching. See if I can catch them again.